Baruchim Abayim, and welcome to Torah Talks Chazaq's Tuesday night program with special guests. Tonight we have with us a very special guest, a very dear friend of Chazaq, Rabbi Fischel Schachter. Shlita Baruch Haba, welcome.
Thank you so much.
What an honor to have you here at the Chazaq headquarters.
Unbelievable schus.
Baruch Hashem, Chazi Hashem, Torah Talks.
I was with Chazaq before they had a headquarters.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Many years ago.
That's right.
Chazi Hashem, Baruch Hashem. The rabbi has been inspiring, continues to inspire thousands of people. And we have a minhag, a custom, before we speak about our topic of simcha, of happiness, which is an exciting topic. Makes me happy just thinking about it. A little bit of background about the rabbi and the great work you're involved with in the shirim and Torah and good stuff like that.
Wow. Background about me. It's so hard to talk about yourself.
Some speakers love to do that.
So, yeah. So we get to my background is very complicated. Should I tell you how many times I was sitting in the principal's office?
Really?
Yeah. I struggled. But you know the story of my mother, right?
No.
That I want to say, because I think that's important. Because I'll tell you why it kind of sets a perspective on my life. I know many people have heard this story 10 trillion times. So I guess this is 10 trillion and one.
Chazara
is a good thing. I said the guy's by the Museum of Natural History, and the tour guide says this is the dinosaur, and it's 68 billion and 1 year old. The guy said, where did the 1 year come from? He says, well, when he started working, they told him it's 68 billion, and he's here 1 year. So that's what it is. Okay. So I was born after 12 years. My mother and my father were sole survivors. Okay. Nobody else survived from their family. My mother came from Poland. Her family name was Gelbard. Still looking for someone from her family. Never found. So if anyone was out there.
Wow.
She lived in Bendin. My father came from Galicia, southern Poland. And if you understand the culture difference, it's like from northern Alaska to southern Florida. No shackles. They didn't speak the same Yiddish. They're totally different kinds of people. And none of them had any surviving siblings. None of them had any surviving immediate cousins. They all came here alone. And they got married. And my mother, Allah Shalom, anyway, the first 12 years they did not have children. Year number 12, don't worry, at the end they had. At the end my mother had, in case you're wondering. Okay. So, year number 12. So you didn't have all the organizations today that they have that help you and assist you and guide you, like there was no Chazaq then either. But the Lashon has his shluchim, he had his private shluchim. So
fertility was
definitely something that was off the wasn't anyone's charts.
Right.
But so she was by a fertility doctor on Park Avenue, and that was like the end of the road. That was whatever could be done would be done. And he told her, Mrs. Schachter, look, it's over. He said, when hair will grow on the palm of my hand, are you going to have a child? That's not the thing. That's what he said.
Okay.
So when hair will grow on the palm, you're going to have a child. Did he mean to be rude? No, he meant to say, like, get on with your life and don't start.
No chance.
There's no chance. There's nothing. We did whatever we could do, and it's not going to happen. And she left the doctor's office quite, shall we say, it wasn't just her. It was felt like me, my parents, my siblings, everything. She was the only survivor. My father was the only survivor. It was like 12 years of disappointments, and 12 years of waiting, and 12 years of ups and downs. And she got onto the Madison Avenue bus, and she said, I'm never getting off this bus.
Wow.
She said, I'm never, ever going to get off this bus. I'm staying on this bus the rest of my life. That's what she said at the moment. And the bus is going back and forth and back and forth. And at one point, the driver, an African-American driver, takes up his cap and he goes, ma'am, you got to get off the bus. Mm-hmm. And she says, no, I'm not getting off the bus. I'm staying here forever. I have nothing to get off for. This is what she said. She was the Eibishter has his messengers, his shluchim he sends. He took off his cap and he goes, I had a hard day. He goes, I don't know what your problem is, but it's not going to be solved if you sleep in a bus garage. Get off the bus and get on with your life. And she felt that was a message from the Kosh Baruch.
Wow.
That was she said. The Shem Tov used to say a lot, right? Whatever you hear from anybody,
it's a message.
It's a message. Nothing is by chance. And she said, okay, you know what? Whatever's going to be is going to be. He's right. He's right. I'm not going to spend the rest of my life in the bus garage. She had her down. She hit bottom, and she's out there. And a year later, I was born.
Wow.
I don't know if it lived up to their, expectations. But I think that there is a moment. So I always consider,
So Rabbi's the oldest of the family.
Oldest, youngest, middle, only one.
Wow.
And Yachid, right.
So mom is no family members. That means if I ask you if Schachter, that one, no one's related.
No one's related. We're Baruch Hashem, a lot of children and grandchildren. But so I always feel that, okay, so I'm sent down into this world, and God says, I sent you down for a reason. You weren't even supposed to be here, okay? It's like, I sent you down for a reason So do what you have to do. And that's not true for me. That's true for every single one of us. It's true. It's true for all of us. So I think that's my background. Everything else is just whatever technicalities, how one thing led to another. But
so let me ask the rabbi a question. How does it that the rabbi became or is like a renowned speaker traveling? How did that happen?
So people always said that I never took a course in college, a renowned speaker course.
Oh, really?
No, never did. Never
that
majored.
Gives me chizuk. Thank you.
I don't have a PhD in speaking or anything else.
It just happened, like you were teaching one day, and then someo's like, "Oh, that was a great speech." Or
right. So people always ask me, "When was that moment you started? Right? When did the curtains go up?" And you said, "You're here." No, I don't know. I don't think that there was a moment. I think before we come down to this world, the Kodesh Baruch Hu sets our course for us, where we're supposed to be. I don't believe for 1 second I'm better than anyone else, right? That says whoever's, whoever gets a lot of honor down here is usually in the back up there, and whoever's down there is up front. So I got to hop around down here. I think where I'm going to be. Rabbi Yankov Pshevarsky was the Pshevarsky Rebbe when he first left. Came out of he was in Siberia and he came to Paris. So a man told me that he's standing in the middle of the shul. So someone asked him, "Why does the Rebbe go up front?" So it says when Mashiach is going to come, people that were up front are in the back, people that are in the back are up front. If you sit in the middle, at least I'll be where I am. You know what I mean?
Is that Pshara of Chaim Kanievsky when I remember seeing him in the Letterman show was always in the middle?
Rav Palm also never sat up front. Rav Palm used to sit always to the side. Rav Olson, I davened by, was like stark when he was master Rav Palm.
Shari Muna.
Munas Yisrael. It takes me a second. My age takes a second. He said that when the Baltfila starts Hamelach, he also starts on his seat. That's his way Ashkenazim anyway. The Baltfila of Shalom Kippur starts Hamelach from his seat, and then he walks over to the Amid. Because when you walk over to the Amid, you're leading the congregation. But again, you're once you're a leader, once you're in politics, that's not politics, but you automatically, there's certain restrictions to. The real king is in your house, in your home, in your seat where you are. That's the Hamel. From here, okay, there's the description. I got to show you where to go. I'll show you where to go from there.
Very interesting.
So I don't think there was one night that made, that was a thing. My father, because I was at Ben Yachid, so one thing my father always used to do every single night before I went to sleep, he'd tell me stories. Always fell asleep with stories.
That's how the rabbi has all these stories.
Right, and I had like this feel of saying stories. I happened to be lucky as Hashem would guide me to Yitzhak Europe's Pirchei group, so that helped a lot, and Shmuel comes up, both of them. I remember the first time I heard stories from them, I was just laying on the floor laughing, and they opened up a whole new way of telling stories, and I was telling stories to kids on my block, and I was telling stories to kids in my house, and somehow just one thing led to another.
Amazing, unbelievable. I know Rabbi Wallerstein Zatal, Rabbi had a shaykhus with a connection with, and he would say that he became an orator speaker because his father would always encourage him to speak on the Shabbat table. Always over something, and he was constantly saying things, and that's the way it picked up. So anyways, interesting.
Yes, to Simcha, my father would say a few words without telling me beforehand that he was going to say that, and I would choke, and I would... But
your father was also an orator speaker,
so my father gave a lot of shiurim. You know, he came here. He was a businessman. He was a shaykhid originally when he first came here, and he felt that they were rushing him too quickly, and he can't keep up. He doesn't take the responsibility, so he quit.
Oh wow!
And there was the joint that was giving money. Then said, "Well, you had your job, you quit, so we're not going to support you." And he was really up the creek, but he was determined. He started his own business. Like a printing contractor, and Baruch Hashem, but he always gave shiurim. He gave shiurim in Beis Yaakov and here and there. So I definitely had to learn from, no question about it. And every Shabbos table he gave shiurim to guests and to everyone else.
Beautiful, beautiful. Rabbi Fischel Schachter, an inspiration to us all. So to our topic today of Simcha, of happiness. We're in the middle of Mar Cheshvan. Mar, which is bitter. Cheshvan is a month with no holidays, and I see people walking around, and I see that frown on their face. I'm like, what's going on? You know, the holidays were fun. It was amazing. It was great. But now we're back at work.
Well, for some it was fun. For some it was,
some was difficult. Yes, 100%. But mitzvah gedolah is b'simcha and the samachta b'chagecha.
They were occupied.
They were busy. Okay. And many people are like, they're missing. They're lacking that simcha, that happiness. How do they add it to their day? You know, especially now when it, in Russian the word for work is robota, which is a robot. They wake up, they go to work, they go to sleep, they wake up.
Wow, that's scary.
So how do we add that simcha, that happiness to one's day?
Right, I'm that robota mood, right. Really, wow.
They're back to their routine.
Back to their routine, right. Routine is hard. Life is hard, right.
Yeah. So that's what people feel, and this is the topics people ask that we speak about. And if Rabbi could give us some chizuk, inspiration about simcha, about happiness.
Right, wow. So, let me think. We were not prepared, right?
No, Rabbi, I love Rabbi Fischel Schachter off the cuff. This is great.
This is off the cuff, right? Because when I prepare, I always make mistakes. This way, at least I can say it was off the cuff. I wasn't prepared. If I prepared, then I'm really in trouble, right? And you prepared. How did you say something like that? Okay. So I don't have a teleprompter. I don't have.
No.
I don't have.
We're working on it for future speakers.
Yeah. Okay. Who gets to be the writer? Yeah. I think that it's really tough. People are having it really tough. Life is hard. Pressures are hard. And one of the reasons pressures are hard is because we don't stop. Okay, I read a study once that there was a time at night it got dark. And your only option of light was a candle, which was very limited. It was real light, right? Ophthalmologists say it was much healthier for the eye and so on, but it was real light. But basically it got dark and you went to sleep. And life stopped. And your mind had a moment to rest and take a breath. And you woke up the next morning and the day starts again. And I think that what happens today is we don't stop.
We're constantly
going. And it's not how we were wired. And I think you need a couple of minutes a day. Just walk into a room and take it out. I would say 10 minutes before I go to sleep or at one point during the day. Take out a sefer, and learn. And even if you're not up to learning, just sit there and klutz for 10 days. Just
10 days?
No. Well, 10 days is not a bad idea. Let's start with 10 minutes. Work with it. No, 10 minutes. Just close your phone. Close your phone, and sit there, and just sit there and do nothing.
It's hard for people.
It's so hard. It's hard. Give a chance for your lungs, for your heart, for your mind to catch up. God spoke to Moshe, and he stopped from time to time. Right? There's a pay and a samach and a pasuk. Revach tasimu, to give time. We don't have time to catch our breath.
You're saying good, 100%.
I think just plan into your day a moment of just slow down. Slow down.
And will that equal to happiness? Or that equal maybe relax?
Okay, so there is no happiness button. There is no happiness drug. A lot of people think there are. But it doesn't really work. There's a price to pay for it, right? I think that's one element in it.
Definitely. Just stop, pause.
Just stop. Stop and pause. Okay? You have a chavrusa, you have a partner, take a couple learn with him. Someone that's outreach like Chazaq does in an unbelievable way. And it can only be for a few minutes. You need that one moment. I always wondered by the Shabbos table. You have little kids, and they come and they fight over, of course not at my house, but in other houses. And they fight over the seat. This is my seat, this is your seat, this is my seat, this is my sister and brother. And they say, and one kid pulls the seat out from the other.
How do you know about the situation in my house, right?
Right, people always say that, yes. And I always wonder, okay, you bring in all the negotiators, and you bring in the Secretary of State and the State Department, and you negotiate, and everyone has their seat, and you make Kiddush, and 30 seconds later, they're gone. Where are they? The seats are empty. So what were you fighting over? And the answer is in a kid's mind. It's not the amount of time that he's sitting there. It's that moment that his father makes Kiddush is a special moment. The moment that you wash and give out tablets is a special moment. It doesn't have to be. You don't force your kids to sit by the Shabbos table. It's just he needs that moment. That's his connecting moment, and he wants to have his place there. And we also need our connecting moment to Hashem, to have our moment and have our place, and just.
Amazing.
I think it's crucial.
Advice.
Take a good saver, take a good book, a meaningful book, and just close the door. Sit down. Don't look at a screen. A screen wears your eyes down, even if you're reading something good. Just give yourself 10 minutes, and I think it makes a big difference.
Amazing suggestion. Amazing.
Okay,
I love it. There's a famous saying, Rabbi: "Fake it till you make it."
Right.
Someone that's sad or not in the mood, and he just starts smiling.
There is
that work. Is there anything?
The risk thing is actually the smile forces an outside.
Really interesting.
Yeah.
So if you could tell us more about that whole topic of fake it till you make it, is there truth to it?
Right. So the question is, we're not supposed to fake things, right? We're supposed to be real.
You should be pure with it, God.
Right.
So. Faking is not pure.
So a very interesting story tonight. I just happened to hear it on the way here, so I guess there's a reason I'm supposed to say. Reb Shimon Seifer was the son of the Chassam Seifer. Chassam Seifer was the rabbi of Preshburg, of course, Seifer. And Reb Shimon was very, very frum, and he was a great genius. And when he got married, his wife complained to her father-in-law that he's just too tense, and that he would walk in. If he missed kissing the mezuzah, it was like,
oh my gosh.
And of course, today we have all kinds of letters in the ABC. But he was a great genius, and she felt the pressure, and she felt open enough to go to her. And the Chazaq Schachter did not say to her, "Don't you talk that way about my son." No, he didn't. He said, "Shimala, come here." And he said, "Shimala, look into my face." And this Shimon writes that it was hard for him to look into his father's face. Some Schachter had like a certain shine to him. He says, "Please look into my face." And they looked at each other for a couple of moments, and suddenly he had a smile on his face. And for the rest of his life, he had a certain smile that was off the charts, even going through very, very difficult times. And he asked us some Schachter, where does it come from? It says from learning Torah L'Shma, really learning Torah. B'kudei Hashem Yishar Mesamchei Lev, the statues of Hashem generate simcha, generate happiness, and you can transfer it one to another. Okay, so where's the Chazaq Schachter? Let me get online, right? Here's the problem. And the answer is, I think we have to do it to ourselves. So Tzaddikim said that yes, you're not supposed to lie, you're not supposed to be sad, you're not supposed to be dishonest. Even though they say, how do we know that a minhag is stronger than a din? You ever hear this? A minhag and there's a halacha.
There's custom.
Some say minhag is more important than halacha. And I can prove it to you. Because the halacha is if you owe someone money, you have to pay back. But our minhag is, we don't always pay back. That was a joke, right? It's just in case. It was a joke. Okay. So Rabbi Fischel Schachter said that when you walk on the street, you're supposed to walk with a smile. Because if you don't walk with a smile, you're affecting somebody else. You're hurting someone else.
And your face is Rosh Hashanah.
Your face is Rosh Hashanah. Right?
Public.
So Schachter said, if you just like there's one of the four damages of this nazika is if someone digs a pit in a public property, if you're walking on the street with your face down and your face sad, then you are digging a pit in the street and people are falling in. So I heard from Rabbi Fischel Schachter added something else to it. He said, that's when you're walking on the street. He said, if you walk into your house in a rotten mood, he said, then you're worse. Then you're a goring ox.
Wow.
He said, but I heard from one of my Rebbeim, Rabbi Fischel Spinner, who said, and he said it to us, and I think he was 80 years old, he must have been married 60 years. He says, I walk into my house, I put my hands on the doorknob, and I close my eyes a few minutes, I say, Hashem, let me do my job to come in and smile.
Wow.
So he married off all his kids, married off grandchildren. This is my job. Let me try. There's the Avodas Yisrael from the Kazan Samagid, who was one of the great Hasidic masters, and he says in Erev Pesach, he says a man is coming home Erev Pesach, his boss just told him you're in big trouble. First day after Pesach, I want you in my office. I have something very important to say to you. And, oh no, right? And the landowner's about to throw him out, and the wife is just, everything in the world is going away. And she says, when my husband comes home, I am going to give it to him. I am going to give it to him. How dare him say he has a hard day? You know what I'm going through? And she said, my wife complained one more thing. And they're coming in. This is Russia, Ukraine. They're coming in.
It's World War
I, World War II, World War III, the War of 1812, the Civil War, Napoleon, this is what any war in the world. They're coming at each other. This is, and he comes in and he says, you know what? Yom Tov is coming. I know what happened last time we did this. It was a disaster. I said, I can't change the world. I can change myself. And he came in and said, I'm going to come in smiling. And she said, my husband's coming in. I'm about to get, he's in the crosshair. You know what I mean? I see him. What's the point? What's the point? Let me see. And he walked in, hi, and she smiled, and he smiled. It was a very fake smile, and they wouldn't have won an Oscar for it. It was a bad fake smile, but it was a smile. So it says Hashem looks down and says, I have such a rap sheet against both of you can't imagine. What should I do? If you're forcing a smile, I will force a smile.
Wow.
You're forcing a smile on yourself, I will also force a smile.
Amazing, powerful.
And we're going to do it. And there's no question about it that there's a concept of the chitzonius being, or the pneumius, the outside factors, generates what's within us. And we're a body. The neshama is happy. The soul within us is happy. The Brisker once said, how come kids are always happy, right? Kids are always happy. The Berditchev said you should learn 3 things from a small kid, right? Remember this? One is that he nudges and nudges until he gets what he wants. Yeah. Doesn't stop. Right, a kid, right? You'll ask one with, excuse me, can you wait? Oh, I'm so insulted. I'll never talk to that person again the rest of my life. A kid, right, will ask his mother and nudge, right? How does the story go? The kid walks into a busy Williamsburg bakery and the guy orders and kiddishes, and he still can't keep up. This little kid, what? And he says, you have chocolate cookie with the sprinkles. You have a chocolate with sprinkles. Kid, not now. Go get these waters out for you. Goodbye. He gets online again. He walks up. You have a chocolate cookie with a lot of sprinkles. Get out of here. Goes, you have a chocolate. One more time you come in here, I'm going to close your mouth with crazy glue. You understand? You verstehst? And the kid walks out. A few minutes later, he comes back in, and he goes, you have crazy glue? And he goes, no, this is a bakery. Oh, good. You have a cookie with a lot of sprinkles. So a kid doesn't get insulted. At a certain age, you get insulted. Under a certain age, you don't get insulted. That's one thing I've learned from a kid. Just keep asking. Keep asking for Hashem. Don't get insulted. Don't be turned down. The other thing is that a kid never sits and does nothing. Never sits and will say nothing. He's emptying a pocketbook. He's emptying drawers. He's emptying something. Kid. And the third thing is that he can cry 1 minute and laugh the next. Now, the older we get, the longer it takes us to recover from crying, right? I'm angry if I made up I'm not talking to my wife, I'm not talking to my husband, so at least it has to go 3 weeks or else. But just get it out and move on. So how can kids have this power? How can kids are naturally happy? There's a natural giggle in a kid. And so the Brisker Rebbe says very simple, heaven is a very happy place, and these kids are coming from there. It takes time until the depression of this world sets in. Right. They come down happy. And so the neshama, the core that's within us, is happy. And when we force the guf to smile, it generates what's inside also.
Powerful.
Easier said than done, but
yeah, for sure, definitely. Very, very, very powerful. Right. And I think I heard from
that's not an excuse, by the way, not to help somebody. If somebody comes to you for help, don't say, well, fake it till you make it. You have to help them. But in terms of ourselves, right, that's what we have to be.
That if you smile and for no reason, then Hashem will give you a reason for that smile. I heard that somewhere. I'm not sure for what the source is, but it's a powerful saying.
So there's that story. I don't want to get too carried away here, but there's a story of the original. The great Hasidic master of Rizhin, that's the Biyan comes in there. And,
Biyan, nice.
And let's see, Saliger. And
shout out to Biyan, they held the Chazaq event in Borough Park. So
okay,
all the
there we go.
Out there.
Swiss of the Heilige Rizhin.
Okay.
So he went through a lot. He was arrested by the Tsar, and they had to run for his life. He went into the story. So he once heard his daughter sigh, krechts. He said, let me tell you a story. There was this unbelievably wealthy man, and he came home. He was so upset because he sent this guy to get him white horses, and they weren't exactly white; they were off-white. He was so angry, and God said, "That's your problem." Okay, next day his horses died, and he was so furious. My horses died. He was so furious, and that's your problem. Okay, next day his business started going down. And to make it, one thing, each time he got more and more angry. Each time God said, "Okay, that's your problem. I'll show you what a problem is." And at one point, he lost every last penny that he had, and he had to go from house to house and collect money. And he was still angry. He said, "Now you're angry." He lost his health, and he was full of leprosy, and nobody wanted to speak to him. And one point he's in the woods, he's all alone, and he looks at one finger and it was cured. He goes, "Oh Hashem, this one finger became good. Oh, I have hope." Because you think that's good? I'll show you what's good. And his hand became good. Next day his body became good, and got his businesses back, and he came all the way back to his horses. So he said to his daughter, "Don't start that. What do you got to go down and up? Just."
That's powerful.
But honestly, we're human beings. We can express our despair. That's not what it means. But it means come down and know you're coming up afterwards.
Amazing, powerful, very, very, very inspiring. Rabbi, as everyone knows, today is Tuesday, November 8th, and it's election day. And many people, and Klal Yisrael, the Jewish people, feel like we are judged with a magnifying glass. Sometimes people walk down the street and are people staring at me, this and that. Is there any truth to that Klal Yisrael, we as Jewish people, we have the Umat Olam, the people of the world, are zooming into us, to Klal Yisrael, Jewish people?
I think that if we're smart, we will try to avoid it, but the reality is not that way, right? The state of Israel has but 5 million people in it. It's 1.6 million people. It's in what is it in the world? It's such a tiny,
not even a dot.
Nothing. It dominates everyone's passion and everyone's emotion for one way or another. Read the press, read the news stories, read
Israel,
read what's going on, and I think that the reality is, are we held to a higher standard? Look, for our part, you stand out. You have to be. We have to do our best. I don't fight over parking places, and I don't wait to cut in by the.
The rabbi lives in Borough Park, which is double park.
Right. And, ride along the BQE and jump in by the lane that you close. No, I don't do it. First of all, I'm not good at it. Second of all, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. We have to. We definitely, yes, we have to live like there's a magnifying glass on us. And some say, well, whatever you're gonna do, it's not gonna help. People will hate us. That's true. That doesn't mean we don't have a responsibility.
8% is younger. Saying everyone. Okay,
The other thing is that we were never meant to be here forever. We keep forgetting it. We were never meant to be here forever. And that's what it is. And we're told, we could try to survive in Gullus, and it's Gullus, whether you like it or not. And it doesn't mean we do our civic duties and we're going to vote and we're going to be good. And in Yiddish there's a question Chazaq Voil, but
sorry, my Yiddish is still shtickle.
I'm going to be good. I'm going to be a good boy. I'm going to be. But the reality is that guess what? We're not going to be here forever. The world's not going to be here forever. Everything changes. The world moves. The whole world moves. Planets turn. People move. You know what it says in the Sfasemis? It moves in circles. Right? Atoms, protons, orbits, all move in circles. Why? Because Hashem says, okay, you missed it. Maybe you get it this time. God's always giving us another chance, right? To try to get it.
I have to actually quote you. I remember one time we had a Chazaq event and the rabbi came to a specific show. I don't remember which one. It was a second time. So the rabbi started off by saying, coming to speak for a second time could be a positive or a negative. The positive being it was good last time and they invited you the second time. Or it could be a negative that you didn't do well the first time, so give you a second chance.
You got it straight when I keep going. So
Rabbi has some really good lines.
The history of our history is, even at times that we had it good in countries, at one point it began to crack in on it. It meant to crack in on us, and it's no one's fault. It's just Hashem's way of saying, guess what? I got to remind you, you're not going to be here forever. Put things into perspective. That's all.
So is that a positive or is that like a negative? Is that supposed to give someone like...
It depends.
It might be like depressing. No.
So again, it depends how you cut it. Okay? What's depressing, what's not depressing really is up to the
individual.
So let me share this with you.
Sure.
I remember once I was in a certain town, and I came into a big shul, and it was late for my flight, and I walked in, and I went to the back, and there was coffee there. No, normally in Kew Gardens and in Borough Park and in Williamsburg, there's coffee. It's for everybody, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Right. So I'm taking a coffee. This man comes over to me. He says he's the president of the shul, and he says to me, "Are you a member here?"
Ooh.
And I'm like, ooh. He knows I'm not a member, right? So I said to him, no. He says, see the sign? It says, coffee is for members only. So I said, where I come from, Chassidish people, they read things differently. Like, the story, the guy went swimming, and the state trooper, the ranger, comes, what are you doing? You see the sign that says no swimming allowed? He says, oh, I thought you read it this way. No, swimming allowed. Yeah, right. He don't like that. He don't like that.
Oh.
He says to me, well, this is the it's mom and call, it's communal funds, and this is how it was established. This is why we have coffee, and I cannot be in the vater. I'm not the one to how you say the word vater. I can't
give in.
I can't give in. I'm not the one to think. It's not to my right. You probably think I'm mean. Yeah, he was on the money with that one. He said it's communal funds, and that's the way it is, and that's the rule in the shul. You can go across the street. There's a coffee house across the street. And so thanked him so much that he gave me the permission to go across the street to buy coffee. I said, trust me, I will not forget this coffee so fast. Put it down. It's okay. It's fine. So I thought it was going to be a disaster in this town, but the nice was okay. It was fine.
Oh, yeah.
It was a great time. Then the day before I left, I was there for a few days. There was a little shul there, and I went off to the corner. And there was coffee in the back. I didn't necessarily need the coffee, but I went to the back. And I said, who's the president? There's no president. Okay, that's one good. Who's the gabbai? Gabbai comes by, a plump little happy guy. He's on his face, right? I said, can I take a coffee? He said, sure. I said, but I'm not a member. He goes, it's communal funds. It's made for everyone. So there's a contradiction between the president and the gabbai. Right? Is communal funds a reason to have the coffee or not to have the coffee? The answer is depends who the gabbai is. So it depends who he does, right? So we are the gaboim of our lives.
Powerful.
We can't change. We're not going to change politics in America. We're not going to change politics anywhere in the world. Politics is politics. Human beings are human beings. We have to decide God put us here for a reason. He knows who we are. He knows when we are. He knows why He put us in. We have to try to do the best thing.
Powerful. I heard once besimcha. It says mitzvah besimcha many times. Besimcha is the same letters as machshava. How does one become happy? The machshava, which are thoughts, which connects really well with what the rabbi just said. It's in our hands.
And it's not easy. And you got to relinquish control. You've got to relinquish control.
Powerful.
So some people tell me I heard this once too many times from me, but I'll just say it.
The more the better. It must be so. I always say that if you hear something too many times, that means you haven't gotten the message yet. Right. That means you have to hear it again.
So, or you're not doing good enough time preparing. But anyway, there was a flight from New York to Rome this summer, and the pilot.
Rabbis?
No. Leave a little bit to your imagination. And the two pilots fell asleep.
Ooh.
Now, it happens to be very common the pilots fall asleep. because there's autopilot and it's quite boring.
Right.
Over the clouds and hours and hours. But they're not supposed to sleep, but they do fall asleep. And normally they like sleep, like you sleep during a class. You like a little, so that way. And so you want to be up. You want to make sure when the control tower calls you, you pick up the radio. These guys were out.
Ooh.
Okay? They must have had a good shunt. You know what I mean? Right beforehand, they're dead. Okay? How's it going? That king that he wanted, he couldn't fall asleep, and they brought all the doctors from all over the world. They couldn't get the king to sleep. So finally they brought a Yidel, a Hungarian Jew, and he sat up. Gave him a good chunk. The king is out like a lot. The king wakes up. He says to his men, "Hey, you guys?" They said, "No, we'll send it to the CDC. We'll do a lab test on this chunk and see what it is." They came back. He said, "You figure it out?" Yes, because we figured out how you fell asleep. So what didn't you figure out? How you woke up? We don't know. Okay. So anyway, these guys were totally out. They're calling, and they're not picking up.
Oh, wow.
So it got to the point that they got to the point where they were getting ready to send up military planes to follow through and see what's on. Who knows what this is? God forbid another 9/11. What's going on? And the guys finally woke up. They said, "No, we're here. We're okay. Everything's all right. Fine." So they made a U-turn around the North Pole, wherever they were going. They headed back to Rome, whatever the case was, and there was a whole to do. Okay, so that's the story. So here's the story that I had. Okay, sitting in the back of a plane. I'm not saying it was the same plane, but we'll use our imagination a little bit. And there's this middle-aged woman is like staring at me, and I don't want to put myself. So at one point I said, "Can I help you?" She goes, "You don't have your mask on."
Oh.
I said, my mask was on. I said, "I am wearing. You have to wear a mask now." I said, "The mask is on." "It's not over your nose." I don't know what you think my nose is. This is what my mom told me. It's over. It's not high enough. And she's like, "This is getting serious over here." And she explodes. She explodes.
Ooh.
She says, "All you people, it's all you're the reason Trump and Biden and measles and COVID and inflation and global warming and everything is all your fault and it's all this." She's screaming her head off, and they come over and say, "What did you say to her?" I said, "I didn't say anything." She's like, and said, "Do you mind changing your seat?" I said, "I'll change my seat, no problem." Anyway, she's whatever. She reads the New York Times, obviously, in great depth. So, okay, feel bad for her. So I would just imagine this woman that says right now, she believes right now, at this current moment, that the reason her life is in danger is because my mask is not covering.
Hey guys,
that's what she believes at this moment. She really believes it. I feel bad for her. Imagine someone would have tapped her on the shoulder and said, "By the way, you're 30,000 feet over the air right now, and you should know the two pilots are sleeping." Just letting you know if you want to worry about something. Right? So I think that's who we are. Okay, we worry about this, we worry about that, and Hashem says, you realize that I'm holding you up now. Do you understand? I'm holding you. You don't even know what to worry about. Okay, I'm holding you. I'm holding you up. You're doing okay. Don't worry about it. You're in my hands. And that's what we have to think. We don't know. But Chazaq says a very interesting thing. He says 90% of the things that we worry. Look in your life. Think about this. 90% of the things you worry about never came to fruition. Go back to your worries. And 90% of your real problems were things that came unexpected. Mm-hmm. So most of the time we worry about the wrong things. So he says that God puts worry sometimes into our hearts. So we say, I got to be a better person. Hashem, I need you. I'm becoming a better person. And Hashem says, that's all I need. Okay? I'll fix it. I need that feel. I need that moment. I need you to be there at that moment. So why does God have to worry us with the real problems? So he puts different problems. And most of the time we're not worrying about the right thing anyway. This is who we are. Let's see. The Gemara says in Masechtas Tainis that these Rabbi Broika is standing with Eliyahu, with Elijah, and he says, "Who's going straight into Elhamah?" Right?
In the market.
Those two guys. And make a long story short, what do you two guys do? You get easy pass straight into Elhamah. So they say, we see somebody, we make him laugh. So we do. We just make him happy. We try to make him happy. So the Marsha says, the commentators on the Gemara, that when we're in pain, God says, my shoulders are heavy, it hurts me so much, you have to go through a process, God feels our pain. And you make someone happy, you're actually alleviating God's pain. So therefore, by making someone happy, you deserve to go straight into Elhamah.
Wow. So
the Ber Moshe, the Rosh Rebbe, asks an interesting question. You make a guy laugh, okay? How long does he laugh for?
A few moments.
A few seconds, right? And some people laugh right there, some people a couple of minutes later, it takes some time to catch a joke, but, it doesn't change his life. How does that, what does it help really? So he gives the parable of Mashal, and imagine an Amazon delivery boy, FD, or a person, right? And I'm going to try Federal Express. I'm standing with a big package, and no one's opening the door, and I'm buzzing the door, and I'm told this package you have to deliver. Finally, someone opens the door. I just put it down just for a second. Thank you. Wow. He says, God is standing there. He wants to give us so much good, but he can't unless we have a positive attitude. You make someone laugh for a minute, you're just opening the door.
Wow.
Once you open the door, you can put things there. Then you can make it happen.
Amazing.
Go.
Such chizuk, so many gems
Okay.
from Rabbi Fischel Schachter.
Yes.
We enjoyed every single second of it.
Thank you so much.
But we have a minhag, a custom at Torah Talks, which is one more final message to our broad audience. It was so amazing, and we really much appreciate Rabbi Fischel Schachter, all the way from Borough Park to Queens, Chazaq headquarters. What a chizuk. While Rabbi is thinking of that final message, we want to just give a shout out and thank you to Torah Anytime for hosting, along with all the other platforms. DailyGiving.org, day goes a very, very far away. See Miyomi, all the members of Chazaq, Lear climbing behind the camera, thank you. And Rabbi, and Natan, and Izzy, and Rahman, and Meir, and the whole team. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Should I continue with the thank yous? You still think?
Keep thinking.
Really appreciate Rabbi Fischel Schachter for coming. What a big chizuk, Shekach.
Okay, so I'll tell you, I had a lease car. And the lease,
It's very hard to lease.
very hard to lease.
Yeah.
So the lease is up.
The code.
Right. So I sat down with the partner and he worked it out that it's better, you're better off buying the car. So I bought the car. That's the same car I had for 3 years. Okay?
This is not an appeal, right? To help you buying
This
this.
is not an appeal.
Oh, okay.
No. But if you want my... So I bought the Baruch Hashem bought the car. And I get into the car, the same car that I had for 3 years now. The lease is up, right? And I turn on the engine. I go, what's that noise?
Oh, you may.
I said, what's that smell? She goes, it's the same smell of the last 3 years, the same noise. I know, but now it's my car. Till now, I'm gonna get back. Who cares?
Wow.
We think we're gonna be here forever, and that's it. We're so worried about every little thing. Hey, life is a lease. You gotta
Powerful. Wow.
relax. Don't worry. Be responsible. Be safe. Don't worry about every little noise. Okay?
Love it.
It's not in our hands anyway.
Amazing message, Rabbi Fischel Schachter. Chazaq Baruch Yeshekach. Shem should bless you with all the brachot of the Torah. We want to thank the Rabbi. Remind everyone Chazaq.org /live every Tuesday night. Special guest Tuesdays timely Torah talks. Fischel Schachter is so inspiring. The topic of simcha, happiness. Let's make sure it doesn't go in one ear and out the other. We actually implement these messages and Bez Hashem take it with us throughout the year. And we want to remind everyone to be part of the Chazaq revolution, saving lives. Baruch Hashem, thousands of people, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people over the years with the cheer and the chizuk and the after school programs, study school programs, teen division programs. Bez Hashem, get involved with the revolution. Chazaq.org. Info at Chazaq.org is the email for future events and programs and speakers. And we want to thank you all, and thank you again, Rabbi Fischel Schachter.
My pleasure.